and welcome to the show. I'm kicking things off today with my chicken meatballs and Cacio e Pepe Orzo. Cacio e Pepe just is Italian for cheese and pepper, so like, what could be better than that? So to get started on this delish recipe, I'm gonna work on the meatballs first because they take a little bit longer. So I'm coming over here. I'm too excited. There's too many. This was an excellent walk around. But now I gotta make some meatballs, so bring it together, Mary. Okay, so the first thing I need is some onion. So I'm using 1 yellow onion, and I'm just gonna dice that up relatively finely. So typically, when you're looking at an onion, sometimes if you look on the internet or you talk to chefs, they're like, you gotta go down like this to kind of get it nice and diced, and then through like this. But know what I say? That seems like a waste of time because an onion already has those layers. So if you just go straight down, it basically will come out diced just as soon as you run across this way. So it's saving time and effort, which is always a good thing in the kitchen. So I'm just using a yellow onion here, but any sort of onion would work. But yellow onions are like my house onion. It's a good thing, comes in those like yellow fishnet bags. You know what I'm talking about? They're always cheap, they're really, really good. So I've got that onion here, and I'm just gonna bring that on, Actually, I'm gonna go put some oil in my pan first. Come on over. Okay, so I've got a pan here over medium heat, and I'm gonna add in a little bit of olive oil. I just wanna get those onions starting to cook. So now I'm gonna pop that onion into that pan, and I want that to cook down for about 5 minutes. I want that to get a little bit of golden brown color on there, add in the rest of that onion. And I'm gonna season that up with a little bit of salt and pepper. So that salt is gonna kind of draw some moisture out of those onions, allowing them to cook down quicker and just better. Salt kind of removes moisture, and moisture doesn't have a ton of flavor. So that's gonna concentrate that onion flavor and cook them down beautifully. Add a bit of pepper just for some flavoring. And then I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a mix up. So typically I would cook these onions down for about, I'd say 5 minutes, just to soften them, give them a bit of color. And then after that 5 minutes time, I'm gonna add in a garlic clove. And classic me, I feel like I see it, I do it every day on the show, but like truly every day in my real life, this is what happens in my kitchen. Basically, with this show, I just wanna give you recipes that you can make tonight, and I'm showing you how I really cook in my house, which is every shortcut you can take. Because even though I love cooking, I still find that you don't want to spend all your time in the kitchen. Life is for living, and sometimes that doesn't involve cooking, and that's fine. All right, give that a mix up, and you want to cook that down again until it's nice and lovely and caramelized and just softened. So here I've got some of that, nice and cooked down and soft. So I'm gonna add those into about 450 or 500 grams of ground chicken here. So that's cool because we're adding it into ground meat. So with these meatballs, you could do them with beef, you could do them with turkey. I'm going ground chicken because I'm on like a weird ground chicken kick right now. All right, so that's in there. Now to build some flavor and give some like bright kind of freshness in, I'm gonna chop up some fresh herbs. So the first thing I need is about 2 tablespoons of some parsley, 2 tablespoons of some basil, just the fresh stuff that you can find in those weird little packs at the grocery store, you know what I'm talking about? And then about 2 teaspoons of oregano. Oregano is a lot stronger tasting, in my opinion, than the other herbs. So it just kind of gives you that perfumey flavor without like overpowering things. Now, if you don't have fresh herbs handy, you can totally replace this with about 3/4 of a teaspoon of dry Italian seasoning. That'll work up beautifully. It'll give you the flavor, it just won't be as bright and fresh, but it'll still taste really, really nice. So I'm gonna add those herbs on into that bowl. That's looking beautiful. And now to bring everything together and bind these babies, I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, just plain breadcrumbs. I don't wanna use panko here because panko tends to be kind of chunky. I just want these to bring things together. 1/2 cup of some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese is gonna bring so much flavor. And I'm using the real stuff, not the shaky cheese. So, you know. I'm also adding in an egg just to bind things. And then I'm gonna season that with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper too. Now, if you wanted to, you could get in here with your hands. You can also use 2 forks, because essentially chicken is really tender. So you don't wanna work it too much. You just kinda wanna get everything in, kinda like you're making a very weird salad. Just toss it until everything is nice and combined. Chicken, again, if you were using ground meat, you can be a little bit rougher with it because it holds together a little better. Chicken kind of tends to break down quickly, but that's looking beautiful. Honestly, I would mix it that much and I'm good to go. Now, for the meatballs, I like about 2 tablespoons worth of a meatball. So I like to use a little ice cream scoop. So I'm grabbing this disher, just do a little bit of a scoop, and just plop it right onto a prepared sheet pan. There is a perfect little meatball, and you didn't even have to get your hands dirty. Now, scoop that all out, and these babies, I always tried to cook meatballs on the stove, but they tend to fall apart. I like a really juicy, tender meatball. So when I do them on the stove, they tend to fall apart. But these babies in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes gives you a perfectly cooked, delicious chicken meatball. Today, we are making my chicken meatballs and Cacio e Pepe Orzo. These meatballs look absolutely beautiful, right? Like a little golden brown, and again, that chicken kind of just pulls back. They're not as heavy as a beef meatball, but if you wanted to do these as beef meatballs, you go for it. You do whatever you want. I'm not in your kitchen. I'm just telling you how I do it. All right, now we're gonna move on to that Cacio e Pepe. So I've got a pan here over about medium heat, and I'm gonna start building that sauce. But before we get to that, I have got some orzo here that's been cooking in just a little bit of water. So I have 1 1/4 cups of dry orzo in 4 cups of water. Now that's not a great big ratio, but I like that because it gives me really starchy water, because the base of the sauce for Cacio e Pepe, the thing that makes it really saucy and creamy, is that starchy pasta liquid. So increasing the amount of starch gives you like a really good sauce. So that's done its thing. So now I'm gonna toast off some pepper. I need about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. You can do freshly ground, that's what I'd normally do, but that would take me a while. Mom, I know you're not on camera right now, but she hates grinding pepper. So I'm not gonna do that to you, I'm not gonna do that to me either, okay? Yeah, okay. No worries, okay. All right, so I'm gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper into a skillet over about medium heat, and as you can see, there's a little bit of smoke coming off of there. So what's happening here is we're just toasting that, giving it a little bit of smoky flavor. And basically, as soon as you want to sneeze, you're good to go. This is something you don't do when you have allergies, if you're sick of sneezing already. All right. Woo, yeah, there's that pepper. So that is perfect. So now I'm gonna start adding in that pasta. I'm just gonna scoop it right from this water straight into that pan, because any water that comes over with it is gonna give a really nice texture to the sauce. Right now, though, this is just like noodles and liquid and pepper. So obviously we have to add some cheese in a minute. If you served somebody this, they'd be like, no. But that's okay. So I'm just getting those noodles right on over into that pan. That's looking perfect. And any amount of water that does come over is great. But I also wanna add a little bit more of that liquid, just about 1/2 cup to start with. And that's gonna kind of start building up that sauce. So add that on in, turn that heat up a little bit, give that a bit of a stir. And right now, it just looks kind of, yeah, like pepper, water, and noodles. Not the best thing in the world, but this is where we turn this into what I kind of refer to as like grown-up mac and cheese. So the first thing I need is a cup of grated pecorino cheese. You can also just use 100% Parm, but pecorino is like salty. It's a little bit like funky. It's very good. So I'm gonna toss that on in. And then for a little bit of nuttiness, I need 1/2 cup of that Parmigiano Reggiano. Again, it's got that nutty deliciousness. It's really nice. And this is the stuff, you wanna use the real stuff. You're going for it. Any recipe that uses such few ingredients, you wanna use the best stuff possible, because then you're gonna get all those flavors. But do you see, as we start stirring, that sauce is starting to kind of thicken up a little bit. The cheese is starting to get into everything. It smells out of control. It went from smelling just like toasty pepper to cheesy deliciousness. So essentially what I always look for whenever I'm making any sort of sauce in a pan is I want it to be sloppier in the pan than I want it on the plate. Because as this starts to cool, the sauce will start to seize up a little bit. So this to me looks absolutely perfect. It's creamy, there's like nice cheese stuck on this spoon, and that's like the chef snack that you get to eat later, which is a total dream. So to serve this baby up, just grab a bowl, pop that beautiful Cacio e Pepe into that bowl. I love using orzo because it's a really nice kind of spoon noodle. It's like the rice of the pasta world, which is a total dream to me. Pop that in. You see that sauce getting a little bit thicker? Really beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna pop those little meatballs right on top. To be honest, I was just gonna do the Cacio e Pepe, but I was like, I know some people really like some meat with their dinner, so I've got you covered. So those meatballs go right over there. And then maybe a little bit of some fresh oregano just scattered right over top. Like comforting bowl food, something you want to eat sitting on your couch, which is my personal favorite type of food. Now I'm gonna give this a little bit of a taste. Okay, let's give it a go. It's really hot. Let's see if my mouth can handle it. Ooh, that's hot. But oh my gosh, that is delicious. Ooh, creamy, cheesy, totally comforting. Oh my gosh. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.